Greetings, everyone. Today we have a member from the organization Tickle.life. I'm Aniket. I'm an outreach volunteer with Prati Sandhi, which talks about sexual education, sexual healthcare, and tries to spread awareness. Ma'am, could you kindly introduce yourself for the benefit of the audience?
Hi, my name is Shakun, and I'm the founder of Tickle.life, which is the world's first discovery platform for sexual well-being. We have globally over 350 professionals from different arenas, but they're working in sexuality sector. We do have a growing user base, which is growing month on month, and we have just launched a market space for people and for the industry as a whole to start actualizing what they were meant to do.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So, firstly, I would like to ask a question as to how did you come up with the idea of perhaps raising a platform like Tickle.life?
Very funny. I was in Netherlands, and while I was in Netherlands, what happened is there were like places that I used to go to, and so there was a sex toy shop closer to where I was staying, and I just could not go inside because we are brought up in such a way that we have a taboo and we think that talking about this is really not good. So it took me approximately 6 months to go inside one. And when I did go inside, I lied that what I was doing here. So I ended up saying that I'm here to buy something for my aunt, which was not true. And it just made me realize that we have been born to think that what we're talking about is bad, where sexuality is so important for your wellness. And that is why we started working on it. And I came back to India, had a chat with a lot of people, realized that people really want to talk about it, but people are not comfortable to talk about it openly. So somebody had to take the take the onus on themselves, and somehow I was lucky to find the right people, and that's how Tickle.life was born.
That's great. Now, perhaps pertaining to your experience right now, so there would be a lot of people of that nature, right? So, how does your organization actually help provide assistance to them who may be facing
Uh,
similar situations?
See, what we're trying to do is, for us, the most important thing is, Aniket, that we are not categorizing people into a certain sexuality or a certain gender. We're just saying that everybody is same, but they are unique, and that is how
Yeah.
they're same. So our platform gives an opportunity for everyone to be together and to find resources and services which really are relevant to what do they want. So when you ask about how is it is helping by providing a resource center. So that's how we've started creating an ecosystem, and that's why we call ourselves a discovery platform, because we just make it easier for people to discover what they want, whether it's psychologists, whether it's sexologists, whether it's therapists, coaches, whether people who have gone through
Yeah.
their lives the same way as you have. And a lot of resources, we have content which is like even like 10 years old, which otherwise would be very difficult to
Mm.
find. And now, just because we understood that when they used to come and explore, a very important facet was missing, which was now what? Now I need something extra.
Yeah.
I need therapy. I need to read books. How do you find them? So we are just like trying to create and bring everything together. And that's how we think that, more than helping, we're just trying to make people self-reliant.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Now, as you mentioned, how it's actually a bit difficult to perhaps gather all the resources, right? There would be other such problems, or let's say plethora of problems, not only as say individuals, perhaps as an organization or institution that you're trying to develop. Could you perhaps highlight them and how you're trying to overcome those by growing day by day along with their platform?
Problem. The biggest problem is that people misconstrue what you're doing. So when you talk about sexual well-being, somehow they always think that you're talking about porn, which is
Yeah,
not the case.
yeah.
We are not working with porn. We are not working in the porn industry. We are working in an industry which is very close to mental wellness. Actually, it's cognitive wellness. So we do work with a lot of people who are into mental health. One problem is this. Second problem is there aren't too many people who are working in this sector. And if people are working, we are very particular that what kind of ethos they come with.
Yeah.
It's not a platform where people are there to publicize themselves, but it's a platform where everybody, as I said, that can provide power to the other person. So finding the right people, finding the right content, because we are not writing the content.
Yeah.
The content, most of it, like 90% of the content has been crowdsourced. So is it right? Is it wrong? Is it like instigating something which it should not? Is something that we have been working on, and that has been initial challenges. But now, thankfully, I think people have started exploring us. People have started finding us. So that's really growing. There are a few technological issues that we face, like advertising. Advertising is not possible on many platforms, on social media, even though people are talking about it. So
Yeah.
how do you grow? So you grow word of mouth, and that's what we are doing.
Why do you feel that perhaps advertising on social media has not helped you enough?
See, it's not just us. It is a issue in this industry because for a platform like Facebook, Instagram, sexuality is not the main criteria, and they do have people who are under 18.
Yeah.
So they do not accept words like sex, or you can't show, if you're showing a breast cancer, you can't show breast. And you can't even expect this
Yeah.
out of them. But what happens is for people who really want to look or want to search, they end up searching for the wrong things then,
Yeah.
or going on to the wrong information. So that has been the problem, how to scale. But that's how we have been lucky enough that our scaling is happening because of word of mouth,
Good.
and that's how we are growing.
Yeah, I feel that the audience would also agree that perhaps there is a huge lack of awareness within our society. Now, considering that the Indian society at large has often and almost always considered sex to be, let's say, taboo, how does your platform challenge that and try to change the Indian perspective or narrative that has been growing on over the ages?
See, I would actually say something that people keep on saying, India.
Yeah,
And that was also the misconception that I had before
yeah,
starting.
yeah.
And that was the reason why I thought, hey, you know what, let me start in US, it will be easier. And that's how the company is registered in US.
Oh,
But what I realized was that globally the problem is same. So the only difference is culturally we might be different. Resources, there might be a difference in resources, but the problem sustains everywhere. So when you're even talking about India, the problem is same. And we do understand that people would like to read about it,
yeah,
people would like to understand about it, which is happening because we do get a lot of people from India and they do stay. So what that shows is that when people come onto the platform, they're staying, they're exploring, they're
yeah,
looking at different things, that actually clarifies the doubt that India is ready. India just need the right
yeah,
sources. Like you are an Indian, I'm an Indian, and we
yeah.
are talking about it. So that means we are more or less ready about it.
See, yeah, I understand the factor as to how perhaps it can be similar, right? But why do you feel that certain, let's say, Scandinavian nations are more upfront or more open about it as compared to the South Asian nations like us?
See, it's also a lot to do about different cultures intertwined together. When you think about Scandinavian countries, the
Yeah,
population is less. There's not a lot of mingling that has happened. Here, there has been, and our history has been such
yeah,
that we've had different people coming in, and sexuality as a there's also a lot of political connotation to
yeah,
what we are talking about. So a lot of time politicians might say that this is not good, what as compared to the other people. As a whole, I just think that instead of looking at the problems or why it has happened, we have to look at what are the solutions. And the solutions are, we need to start talking more about it, but we still need to accept, and we still need to be okay that everybody is not as open
yeah,
as a second person. So if you start pressurizing somebody to say that, hey, you need to believe in it, you need to believe in it, things would not work. So you have to understand how people take it, and that's what you have to deliver.
yeah. So, what do you feel that where would India land, let's say, in 10 years or 15 years?
Oh, India is at a very positive curve. See, now people have started talking about mental health, which
Yeah,
they never used to. Yeah. So when they have started talking about mental health, which is something which is not visible, and like I said, I just told you, like I gave you some data of points that
yeah,
for Tickle.life also, a lot of people are coming from India when we have not even advertised in India. And they're staying. So the time that they spent on Tickle.life is actually sometimes even more than what North Americans spend. And even the content is not India specific too much. We have Indian content, but it is also not too much. So that just showcases that India is graduating. So in 10 years, maybe we can't expect that everything will change and we will be
yeah,
completely sexually evolved. But at least when somebody goes out and says that, hey, you know what, respect my sexuality,
yeah.
people would.
That's definitely something positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, also, I'd like to just point out to the audience to check their website, which is tickle.life. It is amazingly curated by ma'am and the
It's a team. It's a team effort. There are like a
ma'am
lot of
and
people who are
two team
working.
members, and would definitely appreciate if you guys could go and check it out and perhaps learn more. Ma'am, also you spoke about how perhaps India has taken a positive curve, right, with regards to how they're discussing mental health. I would say that it has to do with how perhaps media has been involved, maybe recently, but yeah, media definitely has a role. So, how do you feel about, let's say, media's role in ensuring that sexuality and other such concepts actually come into light and are actually given the spotlight and are talked about?
It's very important. And for that to happen, I think it's also very important that we also educate the media. Because if you look at right now, when people talk about sexuality, they talk about sex toys. They
Yeah,
don't talk about sexologists. They don't talk about therapy. They don't talk about books. They don't talk about podcast. So when you are not talking about different facets or different resources that there can be
yeah,
of some help, it is not going to work out. I'm not saying sex toys are bad, they're integral, but they are not the entire
yeah,
ecosystem where sexuality or sexual well-being is concerned. So I think the first very important point would be for media to understand what this is all about, and also to accept that it's okay if they do not know, because there's another very big industry called sex tech,
yeah,
which is working in technology for sexuality. And unfortunately in India we do not have sex tech companies. So when we do not have sex tech
yeah,
companies, we do not have any exposure. And that's happening more in Scandinavian countries, in US, even in Israel. So it's just like, it's time that you just pull up your socks, start
yeah,
reading about what's happening globally, because it's not something new. Sex is not something new.
yeah,
Sexuality is not something new. It has been there since ever.
yeah,
Otherwise, we would not even be here. So it's just like, they need to be educated so that they can make the right impact, because ultimately it's all about knowing
yeah.
about word of mouth, and that happens because of media.
Yeah, could you also perhaps list out the current problems or fallacies that the media has within itself, by virtue of which we are not able to reach the point we should reach?
See, one major thing is, like I said, that what is sexuality
Yeah,
is missing. In India, we do not have a lot of sexologists who can actually dictate or who can actually converse with the media properly and to
yeah,
make them understand. Third thing is, as an environment, because of taboo, nobody talks openly about sexual
yeah,
well-being. When you do not talk about sexual well-being, it does not become like a hot topic. It can become a controversial topic, but
yeah,
it does not become an important topic. So when you do not have these things in place, you can't expect media to do something. So even if suppose somebody would write an article on sexual
yeah,
well-being, which is not endowed with toys or with controversies, the editor would not pick it up. And when the editor would not pick it up, it would
yeah,
not come out. So it's also the problem that the knowledge as a whole is missing.
yeah,
But the reason why it is missing is because there aren't too many places where people can find everything. Like it
yeah,
took me 2 years to find the right person, like first person. And when I found the
yeah,
first person, then it started as a chain
yeah,
reaction that now we know so many people in the industry. So it's just about how much perseverance you
yeah,
have, how much you want to work on it, and you have to understand it's such a vast topic It's just not, like I said, it's not porn. It's not,
Yeah,
those movies that you see, or it's not toys. There's so many facets involved in it.
yeah. Perhaps even us as audience need to be more cautious as to what we are consuming, right? Because I haven't often heard people that they want to consume something related to sexual well-being, etc.
Because they don't know.
Yeah, perhaps that is why we need knowledge, which in turn would increase consumption and would perhaps eventually
Absolutely.
to evil, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lastly, I would just like to ask you a basic question as to why do you feel that your particular platform is necessary, and any last message that you would like to leave for the audience. Also, perhaps elaborate as to how you are trying to create an ecosystem by virtue of your platform.
Um, the reason why we think, or why we are working on Tickle.life is because we believe that there needs to be a place where people can come, where people are not judged, where people are not, you know, from a specific gender
Yeah,
or sexuality, and they can come and they can know about what's happening globally, and they are open to consume as much data as possible,
yeah,
as much resources in whatever field that they are. Like, I might be comfortable in podcasts and you might be comfortable
yeah,
in reading. So when these things happen, it just makes it interesting to have something which is at a single place, because
yeah,
most of us do not even know what we are looking out for until unless we see it. And that is the reason why Tickle.life has been
yeah,
working earnestly into creating this. And it can't be done by a single person or by a single entity, which is Tickle.life. It can only be worked on if everybody works together. And that is how we add a lot of
yeah,
collaborators. So when I talk about 350, these are not just individuals. There are also organizations. There are also sex tech companies. There are also people who have transitioned. So when they all come together, it gives a plethora of knowledge which can be utilized by the explorers, and that's what I call even myself, to
yeah,
understand. Like, even now, I do not know everything. And every day I'm amazed at reading
yeah,
something new or hearing something new. So that's what we are trying to do. And just to make it even more robust, and to also support the ecosystem, that's how we have launched a market space by the feature called Shop.
yeah,
And on Shop, you can, like, do you know about books which are intersexuality? Do you know that there are a few therapists who are there, or there are some counselors that they are there, or there are events that are happening? And now, because of COVID-19, there are events which are happening
yeah.
online.
Online, yeah,
Yeah. So where would you get that information? What are you going to go and look at Eventbrite? So we just want to bring everything together, so that if suppose somebody is ready to explore or to understand, then they do not have to go out, irrespective of whether you want to consume it for yourself, or you're an academician, student, for your children,
yeah,
for everyone. So that's what it is. And I would love that people go on to www.tickle, Tickle, .life. There's no .com at the end.
yeah,
.com is .life. And the last message that I would like to give is that it's okay if you do not know, and you're also not supposed to know
yeah,
everything. But the real change can only happen if people work together. And that's what we have learned in this journey. And I think most of us would,
yeah.
that we have to work together if we think that something is not working. So,
All right. Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. And it's highly commendable that you perhaps came up with an idea which is so unique and so diverse as to accommodate everyone, right? So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having
thank
us.
you